Okay, let's dive in. And I mean really dive deep. We're going to go way beyond just smoothing out a few wrinkles. Today we are exploring the anatomy of cosmetic injections, looking at how the absolute best practitioners treat the face like a three-dimensional sculpture. It is a game of millimeters, of muscle balance, and really of understanding this revolutionary new way of thinking.
So, let's just bust a common myth right off the bat. If you think these treatments are simply about chasing down individual lines and wrinkles, well, you're looking at a pretty outdated approach. The whole philosophy has fundamentally shifted.
And this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Take a look at the after image. Yeah, sure, the frown lines are smoother, of course, but the real artistry, that's in the subtle lift of the inner part of the eyebrow. See, we've moved on from just erasing lines to strategically contouring the face and restoring lost volume. It's a whole new ballgame.
We're going to start at the very top of the face, which you can think of as this incredible dynamic canvas. Its appearance is totally controlled by a constant, really delicate interplay of key muscles that are all pulling in opposite directions.
You've got to understand this concept to get a natural-looking result. It's not about freezing your face solid. Nope. It's about being a kind of referee in this muscular tug-of-war and just subtly shifting the balance of power.
So this muscle right here, this is the frontalis. It's the primary lifter of the upper face. And get this, it is the only muscle responsible for raising your eyebrows. It's also what causes those horizontal forehead lines when it contracts.
And on the other side of the ring, you have the depressor muscles, which you can see here. These are the corrugators and the procerus. These are the guys that pull the brows down and inward, creating those infamous number 11 frown lines. They are the antagonists in our little facial drama.
So, here's the crucial point. A successful treatment isn't just about paralysis. It's about strategically weakening the depressors, the muscles that pull everything down, to allow the elevator, that frontalis, to do its job more effectively. You're rebalancing the forces, and that's what creates a natural, gentle lift.
But if you get this balance wrong, say by over-treating the center of the forehead and forgetting about those strong depressor muscles, you can end up with this, the dreaded Spock brow. Yikes. The outer parts of the frontalis muscle pull up with nothing to oppose them, creating that really unnatural, questioning look.
Okay, so now that we've got a handle on the muscular dynamics of the upper face, let's move on down to the mid-face. And here, the whole approach just flips completely. Instead of relaxing muscles, we're now using dermal fillers to literally rebuild the very foundation of the face, the part that weakens as we get older.
And we're not just talking about skin laxity or, sagging skin. We are targeting a much deeper cause of aging, the actual loss of volume in those facial fat pads and even changes in the bone structure itself. You could say the skin's entire support system is starting to diminish.
And the key area for all this structural work, it's the malar region, or what you and I would just call the cheek area. Restoring that gentle, convex curve of the cheekbone is one of the most powerful things you can do to recreate a youthful look.
This is where precision becomes everything. As this quote suggests, it's about creating a super detailed anatomical map for safe and accurate injections. The concept is called topographic analysis, and you can think of it as a kind of GPS for the face. It's that precise. So this stepwise analysis maps out the midface into these specific zones. It identifies exactly where to put the filler for the most lift, those are the target zones. And maybe even more importantly, where not to inject to avoid hitting critical nerves and blood vessels. The product is often placed really deep, right on the bone, to act as a structural anchor. It's almost like spot welding the tissue into a more lifted position.
So we've gone from rebalancing muscles to building structure, and now we're moving to sculpting the lower face with a truly advanced technique. Remember those neurotoxins we talked about for the upper face? Well, down here, they're not just used for wrinkles. They're used to redefine the very contours of the jawline itself.
This whole procedure is actually named after Queen Nefertiti. Her ancient bust is considered by many to be the aesthetic ideal, a sharp, elegant, really well-defined jawline. And the goal here is to try and recreate some of that graceful contour.
So how on earth does it work? Well, the technique involves placing a series of small, super precise injections of neurotoxin right into the plasma bands. Now, these are the vertical muscles in your neck that you can probably see if you clench your jaw right now.
You see, those plasma muscles are constantly pulling down on your jawline. So by relaxing their downward pull, we're doing that same trick again. We're shifting the muscular balance. This lets the elevator muscles of the face create a subtle lift, which effectively redefines and sharpens the border of the mandible.
It is literally architecture through anatomy.
All right, let's bring this all home. Let's put all the pieces together. We've talked about two main tools in the cosmetic toolbox, and now we're going to see how their totally different jobs contribute to this architectural approach to facial rejuvenation.
So as you can see, we're working with two very different kinds of tools. On one hand, you've got neurotoxins. Think of them as muscle managers, perfect for lines caused by expressions. And on the other hand, you have dermal fillers. These are more like a sculptor's clay, adding back volume where it's been lost and providing that crucial structural support from within.
And here's the thing, the real magic happens when you realize that in an advanced treatment plan, these tools almost never work alone. They're a team. They work together in a full-face approach. Each one has a very specific job, whether it's relaxing muscles that pull down, rebuilding structure, or sculpting brand new contours.
So what's the big idea to take away from all this? It's really about the underlying philosophy. The goal of advanced injection techniques is to move beyond just superficial fixes. It's to address the root anatomical causes of aging, whether that's muscular pull or volume loss, and not just chase the surface-level symptom. And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating final thought to ponder. When a practitioner is working with this incredible level of anatomical detail, and they're balancing muscular forces and sculpting three-dimensional contours, at what point does the line between a medical procedure and a true artistic endeavor become beautifully and fascinatingly blurred?